Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I just want to come on here and give you guys a life update. I have a lot to update you guys on. This year has been quite a year and we've gone through a couple hardships. So I'm hoping that 2019 is way better than 2018 because 2018 was pretty rough. So I just kind of want to jump on into it. Some time has passed since these incidents have happened, so I feel better talking about it. Obviously, there's some details that I won't be able to share, but I just kind of want to tell you guys just, what has been happening, and to those of you who are maybe going through the same thing, just know that you guys are not alone, and that there's people out there going through the same thing. And so yeah, I guess let's just get into it. So I just want to start and go back to last November when it all began. So I don't know if you guys remember my corgi Bella. I know she has been in some of my videos, so you guys may or may not have heard of her. But anyways, I had a corgi. Her name was Bella. She was 11 years old, and last November we found out that she had snout cancer. We tried everything we could. We went to the best doctors here in Oregon, which is my home state, and unfortunately the snout cancer had spread all in her nasal cavities, and there was just no way we could save her. Not even chemo could save her, and we were willing to do that. And chemo is very, very expensive, but we were willing to go there because she wasn't just a pet, she was part of the family. Again, like I said, I'd had her for 11 years. My sister had gotten her as a gift for me before she got married in 2007. So she was very, very beloved. She was a very, very beloved dog. Very loved. But they said that she only had about 3 months to live. She did live a little bit longer, which we were really grateful about. But anyways, we had decided, after we found out that she had snout cancer, my husband and I had decided that we wanted to get another corgi, but we wanted to get another corgi while she was still alive because we knew that we wanted this new corgi to have the same mannerisms as our Bella. And so we started looking for a new corgi. We were looking online, and we went to the AKC site, and we found a breeder there. And she seemed like she said that she had corgis, and I'd actually messaged a couple breeders at that time that I thought were or looked reputable, and so I heard back from all of them, and the two that I had emailed, they had said that their puppies were already called for. So this other breeder came and said that she had puppies still. So we ended up driving to Idaho and getting our new puppy at the end of February. So Bella was still alive. Everything was fine. We were keeping her comfortable. We were going through life just fine. But anyways, May rolls around my birthday, which is May 9th, and Bella was, of course, as we already knew would happen, she wasn't herself anymore, and we knew that we would have to put her down. So we had scheduled to put her down on May 18th. But before, like a couple days before we put her down, we heard some awful news that my husband's best friend's mom had suddenly passed away. And she was very young. She was probably in her late 50s, mid or late 50s. So she was a very young lady. And she was very good friends with my mom. She was well known in our community. And my husband considered her a second mom to him. So we had to grieve her, or we were grieving her, as well as we knew we would have to grieve Bella's passing as well. So that literally happened like 3 days before we had to put Bella down. So we went to 2 funerals. Well, of course, one was a person, but we also had our beloved pet that we would have to put down as well, or had to put down. So that was very, very sad, but I had kind of already grieved Bella because I already knew that she was going to pass away and that we would have to do this probably. So the vet came to our house. It was a very beautiful ceremony. She died at home peacefully, and we buried her in my parents' backyard. It was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful sunny May day. So, we were grieving that day, but we also knew that that she was in peace and she was no longer in pain. So, after that had happened, after those 2 tragedies had happened, my husband and I were starting to try to move on with our lives and honor my my husband's best friend's mom, and of course Bella, by living our best life and by doing things that we thought they would like. So in June, it was probably the 16th of June, which was a Friday. Yeah, the 16th of June. Was it the 16th? No, it was it was the 16th. It was a Saturday. No, I'm so sorry. We left on the 15th of June, which was a Friday. And we went to the Steens Mountains, which are here in Oregon, and we decided to rent out a cabin. We decided to just, go on a trip for us to just kind of relax and kind of grieve our friend and our dog, and just do things that we thought that they would love, because our friend she loved the outdoors, and of course Bella loved the outdoors as well. So we were trying to honor them by going on this trip, and we brought our new puppy with us as well. She was 6 months. And so we had a great time. Like I said, rented out a cabin and barbecuing every day that we were there. And it was just absolutely beautiful. So Sunday we come home, and we notice that our puppy is throwing up. Not a whole lot, a little bit, but we were just kind of monitoring her, but also realizing that we just took a 10-hour trip and she was probably car sick. And so, we were just like, we'll just watch her and see what happens. So we went to sleep that night. We woke up the next day. I saw that she still wasn't feeling very well, and she had thrown up in the morning. So I decided to call the vet. So I called the vet, and the vet, we scheduled an appointment to bring her in that day. So I went and I jumped in the shower and just, getting ready to take her. I come out of the shower and I go into our living room, and I see that she is laying on the floor, unresponsive, and she has lost all her bowels. Now, that morning, she had gone to the bathroom and everything was fine. There was no sign that anything was wrong, like at least with her her poop or her pee. It was normal. Everything was normal. So I find her unresponsive on the ground. Like I said, she had lost her bowels. She was not responding to me. I quickly got dressed. I took her to the emergency vet, just thinking my 6-month-old puppy is going to die. So they obviously check her and say, things are not looking very good. She has lost a lot of fluids, and we're going to check for parvo was the first thing. And then, of course, other diseases that dogs get. And so they checked those out, and they all came out negative. At that time, they had brought her back, so I got to see her, and she was up, but I could see in her eyes that she still wasn't feeling very well. The emergency vet had told me that she was not eating yet and that she was not drinking anything either. So, but that it was probably now 4. They said that they thought that she had a good chance though on surviving since she was alert and she was she was barking and just doing those things. So they thought that she had a better chance. And this was on my husband's birthday. So literally a month span of us losing our 2 dearest friends, this happens. And so during the night, during the night, I guess, she had gone back to how she was, not feeling very well, not eating, not, drinking water, not doing anything normal. And so she had stopped doing any of those things. She stopped barking, was laying there. And so they called me in the morning and had told me that we would have to put her down that day because she was suffering. She had her body had pretty much shut down, and she was only surviving because of the medication that they were giving her and the fluids that they were giving her. So she was basically just surviving because of the machines that she was on. So that day we put her down, and she died in my arms. Oh, sorry. So it was really hard because she was only 6 months old, and we had just gotten her. She was still a baby. I mean, she barely weighed anything, and she was gone. She was gone. Again, we buried her next to Bella, had a ceremony for her. It was just me and my husband, really, because we had to put her down at the vet because there was no way that we could transfer her to our regular vet to have the nice ceremony that Bella had. She was too sick, and she probably wouldn't have survived that drive. So we put her down at the emergency vet. So we buried her right next to Bella, and we grieved, and out of all of that, my sister, my awesome sister, had come to me and asked me if I had thought about fostering dogs, and I really hadn't. And so she told me about this rescue. It's called Lucky Paws, which I highly suggest if you guys live in the Eugene, Springfield area and you guys are able to foster dogs. And even if you're not in my neck of the woods, there is probably a rescue near you who are looking for foster parents to foster dogs. There's hundreds and hundreds of dogs out there that are looking for a forever home, or just looking for that that love that I know you guys can give. So I'm saying so much. I haven't been on here for a while, so I'm a little bit rusty here. But anyways, if you are able to foster an animal, please do so. But so I ended up fostering all through the summer. So all through the summer I fostered, and like I told you guys before, because of the tragedies that had happened to us, me and my husband had decided that we wanted to start a family of our own. When we got married, we actually weren't thinking about having kids. I mean, we had sort of thought about it, but not really. But only because we have so many nieces and nephews, and we just thought, you know what, I think we're okay playing the aunt and uncle role. So we had decided, like, you know, I think we're okay for now. But because all of these things had happened, we had decided that we wanted to start a family. So I had been fostering, things were going great. September rolls around, and on September 11th, I find out that I'm expecting, and we are so happy. We were crying, we were laughing, we couldn't believe it. We were I can't even describe the feeling, but it was like my heart was full, and I was just beaming, and I was so excited that we were going to be parents. And I thought, you know, our life is finally turning around and good things are coming to us. And so yeah, I was excited that I was expecting. I had terrible morning sickness, no pain, just morning sickness. Like a lot of, like, I could eat a little bit and then I was full. Like I just, not full, but just like I couldn't eat anymore, and I couldn't eat certain things. Like I would eat a little piece of toast in the morning, and then I would have like a smoothie during the day, and then I would have chicken or some type of beef during the night or during the evening, like dinner time, and maybe some vegetables, but it had to be like very plain. It couldn't be like with a lot of seasonings in it, which is very rare for me because I love a lot of seasoning and a lot of flavor in my food, but I couldn't stomach it. So anyways, when I found out that I was pregnant, I was about 5 weeks along, almost pretty much 6 weeks along. So everything was fine. I was excited. I knew I was going to be expecting a baby. I hadn't gone to the doctor to be checked up because, you know, the baby was still too small to see anything, and they always say, you know, don't come until you're like about like 12 weeks, I think, or something like that, or like 8. Maybe it was like 8 to 9 weeks. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, so I was like, okay, I'm just going to, you know, wait. I only knew of good pregnancies. My sister has 3 beautiful kids, and so I didn't really, you know, I expected everything to just go smoothly, and that sometime in May I would be having a baby. Well, when was it? It was probably the 18th. The 18th of September. No, not the 18th. It was like the 20. It was in the 20. I think it was 26th. Yeah, I think it was like the 26th. I was about 7 weeks along. And me and my husband had gone to eat some dinner, or not dinner, lunch. We had gone to eat lunch. I had not been feeling very well, but I felt like I could stomach Indian food, which was a bad idea. But I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Like, let's go eat some Indian food. And so we had gone to eat Indian food, and I got home and I was feeling very, very nauseous. So, things might get a little graphic, by the way, you guys. So if you want to cut it off here because you can't stomach graphic things, and I totally understand because I'm kind of the same way, please cut it off here because I will be definitely some graphic parts. Anyways, so I got in the bathtub and I just started throwing up. Like, I threw up my whole meal. And I started getting terrible, terrible cramps. I mean, the most severe cramps. I was shaking. I was cold. I knew something was wrong. My body was going into shock, basically. And now I know that I was having contractions. And then I see one about this big blood clot go by, and I just knew that I was miscarrying. I knew it. I just knew in my heart that was what was happening. I called for my husband. My husband quickly came into the bathroom, and I said, I need to go to the emergency room because something's happening. And I barely could even stand up. I was shaking. I was going into shock. That's what was happening. I was going into shock. And the pain was so severe. It was just, I don't think I'd felt that pain in my life. And so we got in the car. I didn't see any more blood at that time. I had put a towel down, or my husband had put a towel down on the seat. And so when I got out, when I went into the emergency room, there was nothing there. I wasn't bleeding anymore. So I got checked in, everything. I was called back, and when I stood up from the wheelchair, a whole bunch of blood just came rushing out. And they escorted me to the bathroom. I just saw a whole bunch of things come out. It was very, very traumatizing and very, very, I was very sad. My mom and my sister at this time had come to the emergency room with me, or not with me, but they had come to the emergency room to be with me. And so, they saw I was pale. I mean, I was pale. And I had lost so much blood. They checked me. They said, yes, you were definitely pregnant. Your levels are really, really high. What was it? The CG levels? No, I can't remember. But anyways, the pregnancy hormone was still very high. They were like, we have seen people bleed out like this before, and the baby was fine. So they weren't going to rule out that it had been a total miscarriage, because they had seen this happen. Even though in my heart I knew what had happened. I knew I had lost my baby. They did ultrasound. They said, they couldn't really say anything. They said, the baby is still like really small, so it's like, it's normal if we don't see anything. But like I said, I knew what had happened already. But anyways, that they said I was probably miscarrying, that was a good chance, but that I needed to go see my doctor. So I did get an IV put in me because I had lost so much blood, and so I had to get all those fluids back on. I left at like 3 a.m. My husband had to work the next day, but thankfully he called in, obviously explained what had happened, and they let him have 2 days off So he was with me for 2 days, which was really great because I was very emotional and very sad, of course. Naturally, it's a very, very sad time. This was my first pregnancy and my first miscarriage. So they did say to me that that is normal to miscarry on your first pregnancy, and that doesn't mean that I can never have children. They said that everything looked fine in there. My ovaries looked fine, my tubes looked fine, and that it was probably because the baby was what's the word? The baby hadn't developed properly, didn't have all the things that it needed to survive, to be a healthy baby, and that my body had sensed that and had expelled it. And so that happened. And so the next couple weeks were really, really hard for me. A lot of tears, a lot of sadness, but I still chose to foster dogs because I knew that dwelling on it wasn't going to help me. And so I knew that I wanted to keep myself occupied and to not dwell on what had happened. To mourn, it's healthy to mourn, but to not dwell on it. And of course, the miscarriage was not my fault. The doctors told me that. They said it was not your fault and that this was a very normal thing to happen. I went back to the doctors and the hormone level was down, so they said, yes, you definitely miscarried. And so I was like, all right, that's what happened, and I'll move on, and that does not mean that I'm never going to have children, and we'll try again. And so anyways, so that is why I haven't been on YouTube and I haven't been uploading, is because it's been one heck of a year, and it's been full of happy times and new adventures, but it also has been sad as well. I'm hoping that 2019 will be better than 2018, because 2018 was rough for us. I have heard that I have heard that 2018 is the year of change. So, and I do believe that because there has been many changes in my life. But I'm hoping 2019 will be much better, and hopefully maybe a baby. I don't know. We'll see what God has in store for us. I always say that. I know not everybody believes in God, but I do. And so I am putting my life and my hopes and dreams on Him, and trusting Him that He will do things when the time is right, and that that time was not the time for me to have a baby, and that maybe 2019, maybe it will be the year. I'm not quite sure. We'll see. You never know. This life is crazy. It's beautiful, but it's crazy. And so you just never know what life will bring you. But I just want to get on here and let you guys know what's been going on with me, and just be truthful with you guys and honest, because I know you guys are honest and truthful with me. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions, please comment down below. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. I'm going to try my hardest to upload new videos. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Bye.